Hello friends, welcome to Intuites.
Let's begin the class.
My screen is visible to everybody.
Yes, Samir.
There's no lag. There's nothing happened, right?
No,
Okay.
we can see clearly.
Yeah, so far no.
Okay. So let's continue from the yesterday. Like there are a couple of slight disturbance happened in yesterday class. So let me continue from there itself. So day before yesterday, like what you discussed on the filters, right? So there are a couple of things like we can declare a filter like this, and that filter we can pass it on a parameter to the data frame so that you can get the data. So this is one way to do the filter. Or even we can create a or conditions, is in condition, all these things also discussed, right? Is in filter, and operator, or operator, all these things I think we discussed. So I don't think so any doubt will be there on that, right? We are good on that, correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
So now couple of things. There are, if you print your data frame, there are a couple of things are there. One is your index, okay, which is a function, and another is df dot columns. Okay, so if you print these two, this is quite handy methods of your data frame. So if you run this, so the first one, the output is coming up as the index, because I have around 2 rows of data, 3 rows of data. So my starting index is 0, stop at 3, and step size is 1. So this is my index, which is giving me. Okay, and this is all the columns which is available on my data frames. Okay, so these two methods will be quite handy whenever you are using or working with the index. You can see that, and even you can see the columns also. Okay. Sorry. All right. So these are the two methods. Now understand how to rename a particular columns. Okay. So first of all, print df underscore employee. If I run this, I will get my data like this. Okay. So let me put it here back. I think slightly to discuss this, but still I'm just doing this one. Okay. So this is my data right now. And suppose I want to change certain things. Okay. So again, there are two ways to do that. Okay. So the first one is employee dot columns, which is a function equals to. Okay. Then I can give. So what are the columns I have right now? Let's take the name, gender, and email. Okay. So the first one I want to change it. So let's take employee underscore name. Okay. Then I want to say it will be gender only. No changes to that. And third one is your email. Okay. So I'm not changing anything to that. And after that, if I say print df underscore employee. Okay. This is the way. So the first column I'm changing to employee underscore name like this. Now if I run this, see the first employee's name got changed. Okay, this is called one way to do the rename. But what is the disadvantage of this? When you are saying columns in the list, I want to specify all the columns, whether that is gonna change, we are changing, not changing, but you need to specify all the columns. Okay, that is a problem here. Make sense? Any questions on this one?
No.
Okay, so this is one way. So usually you will not do in this way, but another way is called your df.employee.rename. Okay. In the rename, I can specify like columns equals to, and whichever the column you want to change it, okay, that we need to change it through your key value pair. Okay, so suppose let's take I want to change this name to my employee name. So the first parameter should be my name, then colon, key value pairs, and what I want to change it here. Okay, so I say employee underscore. Okay, this is the way you can rename a particular column. So in this case, it is not required to give everything. Okay, so whichever column you want to do a rename, you can just, and you can put another comma here if you want to do one more time. You can do a comma, then the other column key, then value. Like that, we can do it. Multiple columns also we can rename at one go as well. But now let's see, let's run this. Still, I am getting name only. Fishy. Okay, I just change it name to my employee name here. Okay, but still I'm getting DF of employee. That was not the case in earlier scenario. Once I done the DF employee dot columns and whatever changes I'm doing, after that if I'm printing my data frame, the changes is automatically reflecting, right? But whereas in this case of DF dot employee dot rename, when I'm doing it, after that if I'm doing or printing the DF employee or the data frame, I still intact to the last one, so it is not reflecting anything. This is a general thing, okay, in pandas. Few, what are the few actions which you are doing on the pandas, that is a permanent change to your data frame directly. Okay, few things are there that will be not a permanent change. You need to explicitly provide something so that it will change your data frame completely. Okay, so whenever that thing happen, then we need to provide a parameter called in place equals to true. If that parameter is applied, then only it will be a permanent change to your data frame. Understand this point? Got it? Any
Yes.
questions on this part? Yeah. So you need to make sure. So here in place equals to true, you need to provide. Then only this whatever the action which is happening, that will be do a changes to the data frame directly. Now if you change this, now if you run this, you will definitely get your rename changes to employee underscore name. Make sense? No questions would be there here, right? We're good in this case.
Yes.
So there are two ways. Okay. So these are the two ways to rename it. Okay. And even as I told you that, just put here and we can change it. This one. Suppose what you want to change to email. Anything. You can specify like this again. So I can say email. Okay. Then I can say something like that. So let's say details. I'm just changing email to the details. We can do that as well. Okay. So if you run this, both the columns will be at one go, it will be changed. So you can specify whichever column you want to change it on a key value pairs on a dictionary format. All right. Okay. So now this is done. I'm renaming this one. Let me run this again. Okay.
Samir,
Uh-huh.
the same approach for even if you are connect. Right now we are reading from the file, right? So if you are
Same.
reading from the database, also the same. Everything is same.
Same. Yeah. Everything same.
Okay.
Yes. So this all things will the syntax will never change. Whatever your
Hmm.
source is there. Yeah.
For only the connection will be changed.
Correct. So here we
Okay.
are making a dictionary and we are making a change. Here we are connecting to a CSV and making a data frame out of that. And when you are connecting a database, we need to connect a database. Apart from once the data frame got created, same functionality. Functions will remain same.
Okay.
And there is a magic things is there that I will discuss very last because if I do it now, we will not be able to understand anything. So that is there. So we have a like facilities to work in pandas to write like a SQL. Okay, all these things can be written like a SQL statement as well. So that I will discuss the last of the pandas. Okay, all right, that is very handy. Okay, now let's take understand how you can update the records, which is very important. So we've seen that how we can retrieve the records. We can see that how to modify the or filter the records. Now we saw that how to rename the records, rename the columns. Now we can say that how you can uh, let's take update the records. Okay, so let's try and understand. So suppose in this case I want to change a couple of things. So let's take for the second, the first, this is my zeroth index, right? This is my first index on my data frame, and this is my second index. So for the first index, whatever there, Priya, female, and all, I want to change the email. So I will just update. Okay. So what I will do in this case, So how to update this? Let's do that.
df.log.
Yeah, because I want to access your this. So 0th one, and I want to change it as level size, not 0, 1. Yeah. So whichever one is fine. So I'll say df employees of 0 or 1. Okay. So equals to. Then I need to specify in a list. Okay. So the first one is my name. Let's take the Priya. Then I can specify the gender. I'm not changing anything there. And the last one, it will be, let's take p dot as ps at the rate gmail. Okay, I'm just changing the email of the last one. Instead of abc.com, I'm just doing this. Okay, that's it. I'm saying print df underscore employee. Okay, so now if I run this, what happened? See, something happened, but this is not the way we want, right? Another record got created. Why it got created? Yes. What the problem we had? Can somebody tell me what the problem I have happened here? Why it is creating another column on my data frame? I
You
accidentally
haven't
did it.
given dot location, the location you haven't specified.
So one is nothing but is another column here, correct? So one Priya female and this one is a new column. So that's what I'm specifying. This I'm saying on the data frame create a particular column of this. Okay. So that's what it is doing it here. Making sense? Hello. You guys are there with me?
Yes.
Yes.
But that is not the intention behind that. Okay. Our intention is behind that is we need to go to the location of one rather than creating a separate entity. Now if you run this, then it will change particular the record. Okay. On the first row, you're changing your data, whichever is updated. Okay. So this is one way to do it. Okay. Or instead of providing everything here. So in this case, the problem is we need to provide all the data here. Instead of that, I can do another way also. What is the another way? The same thing I can write in this way, dot location. As you know, location take two parameters, right? First, the index, and the second is that I can be specified with the email as well, right? Like that. I can specify the email. What exactly I want to change. Okay. Then I can say ps at the rate gmail.com. So what we'll do in this case, it will search for the first index, and for the email, it will change this. Okay. Output remains same. There will be no changes, but it will change only the email for that particular index. This is the advantage of your lock. Okay, got it?
Yeah, correct.
Yes.
We're good on this. Okay, let's try and understand. This is the
Yes.
two ways. The first way is not that handy because each and every I need to provide, but this is quite handy. On the first index, I can just change it to the particular position on that. Okay, so let's try and understand one thing before going to the advanced update here. So what I'm trying to say, DF employee, just try and understand what I'm writing here. Okay, so I have a column called gender. So I'm saying, one more thing. I just finding one thing. I think if you remember, Jaya, that question was that, right? df.employee, I can access how many ways the members of the pandas data frame? What are the two ways to access the columns or n?
iLock and
Can
lock.
somebody tell? No, that is the index. I'm saying how you can access the column. Suppose I want to say gender, email, just extract the columns. Well, how you can do that? What are the two ways to do that? So suppose I want to see only the name.
Either df underscore employee dot the column name, or in square bracket with codes.
Codes. Yeah. So correct. So either this way or
Or df dot gender.
this way. Okay.
df underscore employee dot gender.
Yeah. So I would suggest, I also said, no, go with this approach. Why? Because there is a problem on the dot. What is the problem on the dot? So let me comment that. So here, whenever any column have some white spaces. White spaces means space like order, that's order ID.
Like other class order
This,
ID. Yeah.
yeah. This will be never accessed to the this. So that we need to rename the columns without the space, then only dot operator will work there. Okay. So in the dot operator, we need to more specific on the column names. Okay. So we need to spend some time to work with the column names first of all. Okay. So if there is any kind of white spaces or special characters available on the particular column, then this dot will not work. So there is a bug. Okay, that I found it. So I would suggest better to go with this approach, because when you go with this approach, whatever column name you are providing, it is order ID or anything is there, it will work. Okay, that is the only difference between these two. Okay, make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let me just comment it. I don't require this. So now what I'm doing is
And
df
Samir, one more
underscore.
thing.
Yeah.
That encoding equals Windows hyphen one
Uh-huh.
15. That without that it is not coming. You have to give an encoding.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It is
Yes.
required because
Without that it won't.
in the yeah, because in this file, when I am converting into a CSV, that something happened, it is not encoding. Otherwise, it's not required every time. Okay, suppose
Yeah.
in the way, suppose you will get one more CSV, maybe that time it is not required. Okay, but this file particular, whatever I have given, it is required. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
And in the you also you need to give a double slash here.
Yeah.
Okay, that is the only changes. Yes. Okay.
Or you should give it as a raw string. Uh,
Uh,
Instead of F string, if you give an R string, also it is coming. I got it
ah,
from.
Google, right? Yeah, you need
Yeah.
to say R here, R here.
Yeah. As a raw string, if you keep, then also it is giving. Uh, you
Mm,
need not put two slashes, two backslash. R string, when
mhm.
you give, it is coming out. The output is coming.
Okay, that's great. Okay,
Thank you.
so now let's take, yeah, thank no problem. So now what I need to do here in this case is, so let's take df underscore employee dot gender. So we will get the gender dot, I want to say one function is there, dot apply. There is a function called apply. What I'm trying to do here in the apply, I want to pass on the length function just for understanding. Okay, so please observe carefully what I'm doing here. I'm just printing this. Okay, and if I run this program, it will give you four. These are index. Okay, 0, 1, 2 was the index, was 4, 6, and 4. What exactly happened here? So it is taking the length of this string. So the first male is 4, female is 6, and male is 4. So whenever you apply a data frame on the particular column and apply function, and whatever you apply here, this is a function, right? Length function. Then it will be applied to each and every member of that particular column, all the rows. Okay. So if I say gender, how many genders on that? In this case, we have 3. So it will go to each and every row of the gender and it will calculate the length of that particular data. So it will be 4, this is 6, this is just like a loop. Okay. We are not writing the loop, but it is treated like a loop. Make sense? We're good on this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Other than length, can we use any other function? Only length is applied for apply?
I'll
Okay.
no, I'm coming to that. We can use anything there. So try and understand the apply. Now let's do an you understand the apply, right? First of all, what exactly the apply is all about. Now let's do something. So instead of the length, let me create a user-defined function, and I will write a simple code there, and I will pass that function to the apply. Okay, instead of the length, which is already a what it called user defined or
Built-in
the
function.
defined built-in function. Instead of that, let's say create a user defined function, and that I want to pass on. Okay, so for that, how to define a function? User defined function, how you can create in Python?
def.
Okay, right,
Mm,
exactly.
function name.
So I say another update email. I'm passing on my email here as a parameter, and I'm just return email dot upper. That's it. Very simple function. So whatever you passed in from here, it will go and it will just do uppercase for that, and it will just keep return. Now what I'll do? df underscore employee gender or email in this case. Let's go for email, the column whichever I have, this one, the last column. Okay, I'm passing on. Apply instead of length, I'm passing now my update email without this one. Okay, just make sure just like this. Okay, that's it. Now instead of passing on the length function, I'm passing on the update email, whichever I have created. So what will happen now if I run this? See, everything, every email is converted into an uppercase, right? So that's what we are giving it. So whenever you are passing on a apply, right? So it will go to each and every row of the record, and it will apply the function. So what is there on the apply? In the function, we are saying that whatever is comes up is converted into an uppercase. All right, it makes sense. Any questions on this? And this method is very much handy. Why? You can have any kind of complex logic you can in this function. And if you want to apply the same functionality to each and every row of your data frame, you can do like this. Dot apply, then call that function. So automatically it will apply to each and every data of your data frame. Very much handy. Note it down this one. Okay, we're good. And suppose now you are applying this functionality to only to the email, right? Only to the email. Okay, but I want to apply this to all the columns of the particular data frame. I want to apply to name, I want to apply to gender, and I want to apply to the email as well. So that time, instead of writing the apply, okay, we need to say apply map. So if you do like this, let's print this, print df.apply map. If you apply the apply map method and call this function, okay, and no need to specify the any particular column here. So I can say df.employee dot apply map and update email. Okay, you can change the name, doesn't matter, but now it will be applied to all the members of your data frame. So let's run this and see. So if you see the first output, it is only for the email, but now if you see all the data on my data frame is converted into a number, right? Make sense?
Yes.
Samir, I have a question here. So
Go
you're
ahead.
calling update email function, but here you're passing only one parameter, right? The
I'm
email
not passing
parameter.
any
In the
color.
in the
Or
definition you're
this
saying
is
email.
we can change it to anything. Doesn't matter. Invoice. Just I'm giving a name here. Doesn't matter. Just a random I can give. That is not an email actually. So whatever parameter I, J, K, whatever you. So the first parameter I am passing email only. So that is updating going and it's converting only to the email. But when in case of the apply map, it is converting everything the data frame to uppercase. That's it. And if you run this, it will work. Okay. Be generic, and you can change the name also. You can say upper or convert underscore upper. That is also fine. Be generic on the name also. Okay, make sense?
Samir, then will the apply work? In this case, if I give invoice print df underscore employee email dot apply, will it work?
It is working.
No, because two prints are giving. Okay. Oh yeah.
The
Okay.
first.
Okay.
Hey, just think like this is your. I have given actually generic name because of the first example. We can say directly this. Let's convert this like this. Convert underscore upper. This is the name I'm giving, and I'm saying invoice. Okay, or you can give any name there, and I'm calling this function directly. Just think like that. Okay, better I can give like this. You can understand this better. Let's say input. Okay, I say input dot. Now this is more generic. Okay. Now I think this makes sense. Now this makes sense. Now I have an input. It is converted in upper, and my converter function is convert underscore upper. The first case, when I'm applying DFM email and apply method, then email will be converted to an upper from the data frame. When apply map is applied, then it will convert all the column from the data frame converted to an upper. That makes sense?
Yeah.
More sense, right? Yeah. Okay. Very good here. No questions? This is very handy methods. Okay. But this is I explain you, and this is very handy when you are working on a pandas. Okay, so we can write any logic into your function, any whatever your complex logic is there. Then you can apply the same thing to your pandas data frame through the applies or apply map. Okay, that's fine. Now, but you know, in normal string, right? The pandas, the base Python. In the string, we have couple of methods like upper, lower, starts with, ends with, contains, all these things. Now for this upper, I will not create this function actually, okay? Because this is just an example I shown you. So I created a user defined function, and inside that I'm doing it. Why can't you use this method directly onto my pandas data? Okay. So that is the objective behind this. But this is the way you can do the apply and apply method. But there is a possibility that you can access the string function directly into the pandas data frame. Okay, so let's do that. So let me comment it out this. So how we can do that? Okay, let me comment this all those things. Now the next task is to create that. So suppose what I'm running in this case is sorry, I say df underscore employee, and I say email. If I say directly dot offer, then it will throw an error. Okay, because it will give you an error called the series, or the series means one column in the data frame. You know, data frame is combination of rows and columns. Each member of the pandas data frame is called a series, like email is a series. So it is saying that
One
the
dimensional
series,
array.
yeah, series object has no attribute called. Okay, so in the panda series there is no function called upper, or rather any string function we don't have. You can write lower also, it will throw an error. So for that, what I need to do in this case is, this is my data frame series, then I will need to call the string class. Okay, because the upper, lower, mid, whatever the thing, content starts with everything is available on my string class. So I need to say that str dot upper. Then it. So what I'm doing, pandas data frame, then I'm calling the string class, and string class from that I'm calling the upper. Okay. Now if you run this, it will work. Okay, and you can use any function from the string class using this method. Just give me a second, guys. Okay, so in this way you can access your any string methods from the data frame. Okay, you can use upper, lower. Okay, you whatever you knows from the string class. All right. Any questions?
Samir,
Hmm.
can we use length function by using both string and apply?
Length is a string function.
Length, we find length by using apply, right? So can we use it a string function also?
My question is, length is a string function?
Mm,
Never.
okay,
Length is
I'm
a
not sure.
generic function. It never comes under the string, right?
Okay, okay, Samir. Okay, got it.
Okay. So this is the way you can do your string methods into your data frame. This is also quite handy. Okay. Okay. All right. Any questions up to here? You guys have any questions? Let me quickly go through my charges. How much is there? Okay. So now another one. Suppose you want to create. Now understand. We understand the accessing methods. We filter it. Then we update the records. Okay. Now apply also we did it. Now we'll just try to understand how to create a new column into the data frame. Suppose I want to create a new column here. It is very easy. Okay. To create a new column is very easy. So we need to say the data frame. Inside that we need to give a name. So say let's take I want to create a new column called salary. Okay. Then equals to let's take 5,000. So now I'm just hard coding right now the 5,000. So what will happen? It will create a column on my data frame with salary, and each value of the series of the salary will be 5,000. Okay. Now if I print this column, say so df underscore employee, then there will be a new column will be added here that is called salary and all the members of this 5,000. Okay. That easy is there to create a new column in pandas. Fine. We're good on this. Now the next thing is instead of doing this, I want to update just whatever you understand from this, whatever you learn, just think like I want to update uh, the record for the second. Let's say for the Priya, I want to update, I want to give the salary as 6,000. How you will do it? Now the salary
Using
is,
location and
now I have all the salary as 5,000. Okay. Now I want to change the Priya one to 6,000. Go ahead. Yeah, Jay, you are very close. Tell me.
df underscore employee dot location in square bracket one one comma in quotes sales and give the value equals as your
I
answer.
want, sorry, come again. What I want to do? Okay, location then. Mhm,
Location in square
mhm,
bracket
mhm,
uh, one comma sales in quotes. You
mhm.
are going to change.
We can do that. But can I do like this? I can put a filter condition inside this. So
Yeah,
something
filters.
like df underscore, what name of this? Name. Yeah, so I can specify name, then equals to Priya. So this will make sense, right? More sense. Yes. Correct, na? But like this. If I do like this, it will work. What do you think?
One more bracket.
Hmm. Else is salary now. Something is missing here. One
One
second.
more bracket is missing, I guess.
Where?
df underscore
For the
em.
location after salary. Last
Hmm.
after
Samir,
the
you
square
missed
bracket.
em.
Just a minute. Yeah. Let me check first.
Yeah, sure.
DF employee location. Yeah, here one is missing. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. So just go. Yeah, this will work. So here what happen is inside the location, the first parameter is, you need to give the index. Okay. So instead of providing the index, I'm giving a filter condition. So wherever the name is equals to Priya, so that will give an index, right? Whichever is there. And for that, I want to change the salary equals to 6,000. Okay. That makes sense location wise.
Yes.
Are you good? Yeah. So normally how you are giving location? See here. One
But this will
comma
update all the
number.
names with the same name, right? With the same name is having a multiple record, then it will be
Yeah.
updated.
Yeah. If there isn't, but usually employee name will never be a repeated one, right? Instead something will be primary key will be there. I'm just giving a concept here, don't worry. The duplicates
The
will
same
take
way,
care.
same thing. For
Yeah.
example, if there is a duplicate record, then it should update all the record. That's
Yes,
also,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. So now let's do that. So it is changing this employee to 6,000, others will be the 5,000. Okay, makes sense. This is
Samir, without filter also we can give, right? Is it
how you can
compulsion?
now you can specify the number one. So compulsion in the sense, my question was like I want to change the salary of employee Priya.
Hmm.
So I'm
Okay.
more specific on this. I'm giving a
That's
filter
best.
to the Priya.
Okay.
So that I think this is good. Suppose somebody asks you that I want to change the salary of an employee. He is given an employee number and you want to change it. That is better. This way you can do that. Okay.
No, in order to avoid duplication, as Murugavel said, if we specify as Priya, if there is another Priya, you will have duplication, right? So if I do
Uh,
df
so I
underscore m
no.
and
A
specify
duplication.
the row and the value what I have to give,
See,
is that okay?
duplication part we will take care of it, don't worry. So we need to identify first the duplicates. Okay. So we need to identify the duplicates, then from there what I need to exactly need to do. That we'll see it. No, not now. But the thing is now the question is very simple that I want to just update certain records. That's it. As simple as
Yeah, Samit, I have a question here. See,
that.
for example, in the name, we have
Mm-hmm,
first name and last name. Okay.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So the first name, whatever you're saying,
mm-hmm,
okay, what you're saying, the Priya, and then the last name will be XY. The
mm-hmm,
another record will have a same Priya with ABC, the last name. So I want
mm-hmm.
to specifically update the first name Priya and then last name equal to some ABC. Then you
So you
need to add
can.
a second column also, right?
Yeah, this is first name Priya, the first
Okay.
condition, then I'm going to end. So something like this.
So you can add and operator here and then do that.
Yeah, and or yeah, correct. Specify something like this. So this is my last name, goes to ABC. That's it, for example. Those two conditions we can give, right? And operator also.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I think we're good on this. Now let's try and understand a few things. Yeah. The last thing I think we have done extraction of the columns, filter we have done it. Then we have applied it, rename we did it. We have updated the columns and we have created the new columns also. In particular columns I can update it. Now the last thing is available on this one, and after that I will go through other things. Is the how to suppose you want to drop a column. Okay, you want to delete a column, a drop. So drop is very simple. Okay, in pandas like df underscore employee dot drop. Okay, and you want to say index equals to 0. Suppose you want to basis. I will come to that this one in the tomorrow's class. I will show you the how to get the duplicates and drop also in a different way also. But right now, just go with the index method now. Index equals to 0. So you want to just drop it. That's it. Okay. Now if I run this, still it is intact. What does it mean? It's not drop. 0th index is not a drop. What does it mean? Is it not working? It's working.
It's not permanent. It won't copy in data frame.
So it is the drop method also is not a permanent to the data frame unless until you specify that. So index equals to 0, then I would say in place equals to true, then only it will impact your data frame and that particular index will be dropped or it will be get deleted. Okay, if that makes sense. So this is one way to do it. Okay. Suppose instead of doing this, let me print this data and right now this is the one. And whenever you have this data, right? So there is another method or available on the drop that is called the axis. So axis is something like when you talked about the axis number 0, then it is a row. Okay. When you say axis 1, this is equals to 1, then it is referring to the columns of, if I say, just try and understand, axis equals to 0 means it is the row of your data. When I say axis equals to 1, then it is the column of the data. Okay. So if I say something like this, so I say df underscore employee dot drop, then I specify here axis equals to 1, something like that. Okay. And I can say in place equals to true. Sorry, what am I? True. Okay. Axis equals to 1, and I'm just printing this. So let's see what is happening. Labels index column. Okay, sorry, I want to specify the name now. Sorry. And this I want to delete. This non argument. Let's do that 0. Just give me some time. This whole syntax. Also, can somebody tell me how to do that? If anybody positional argument follows. So keyword argument. Okay. Okay, I think we need to drop the first column, then x is equals to 1. Yeah, I think so. So here what happened is, here we are saying x is equals to 1. This means delete the first column from your data frame. So it's exactly the same. That let me get it. 0 not found in axis. Why? Just give me a second. It's not 0. 1 second. Just give me a second. It will work like this. I forgot the syntax. Just give me a second. Okay, I think it will work. Now, here what is we are doing is that I can say in place equals to true. See, now completely we are removing the name column itself. So what I've done, I specified the drop and specify in the column name. And if you say x is equals to 1, then you are referring to the column of the data frame. So you are saying that please remove the complete column as name. Okay. Then I'm saying in place equals to true so that it will be impact to data frame direct. Okay. Any questions on
If
the
you're
syntax?
if you are using index, it's we cannot use index as we tried.
Index, yeah, index is row by. It is not
No, in column index.
how you will specify column index here because it's an index only. Index equals to 0 means it will refer to the rows only, rows wise. There is no column index rather here in this case. Index is 0 means it will referring to the 0th index here. This 0, this one, and this row.
No, right. Or instead of the column name, right, I can specify the column,
Oh,
the
this one?
index, right?
This one?
Yeah,
No. Index,
yeah.
we need to specify the column name direct. We can't. I just tried it out. That one. It didn't work. So I can say 1. It is not working. Let me just again try it. 1 means hopefully this is my column, right? This is 0, this is 1, right?
Mm.
Gender. Now it is saying 1 is not found in axis. We need to say specify the column name directly. It's not working. I need to be specify the column name. Which column you want to delete from the column or the rows. So if you want to delete gender as a column, I can say gender, then x is equals to 1. Then it will refer to the column rather than it will refer to the rows. Okay.
So if we have to delete a row, then we give index number and axis equals 0.
Yeah, so there is 2 ways to delete the rows now. So one way you are specifying the index equals to 0 or 1 or whatever maybe. This first to drop it, okay?
Uh-huh.
And this is column, and we can specify more specific here. Let me try that. So let me just drop this. This is clear, right? This two is
No,
clear to
no,
everybody.
Samir, can you try
Okay, go
with
ahead.
I saw in the Google, it says the
Uh-huh.
data frame dot drop, and instead
Mm-hmm.
of the name, right, you can
Mm-hmm.
say the data frame dot column. Okay, you remove the name data frame
Mm-hmm.
dot column, and then 0, because square bracket 0, and
Mm-hmm.
then whatever access, whatever you can give comma access 1.
Okay, we can do that. That's a good thing. So 0 means the name. That's yeah, it's working. Thanks.
Yes.
Yeah, but yes, this is working. But again, here, Mugan, like we need to understand. So let's imagine that your data frame having more columns. So you need to
Yeah, yeah,
understand that which is zero and which is one.
yeah. Which is you can give number, right? For example, if a data frame dot like you can give 3 or 2, then it should go to the last thing, right? You
Yeah,
can give
that's
the
correct.
drop
But
column.
no,
Yeah.
no. What I'm saying that now we have only three columns, right?
Okay.
So this is zero, this is one, this is two. I understand. So think like you have a very big table. So whichever column I want, suppose I want to delete sales. Suppose let's take in order data. So that is coming on. I need to calculate, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I need to give that. So this is, I think, more specific. So you are deleting through the column names. Suppose I want to delete sales, and to delete city, and to delete anything from the particular data frame. So this is more specific. I think this looks good. Anyway, there are some options which is good, but I think this is the best way to do, in my point of view. Okay, because I can drag or I can navigate through my column name rather than through the index name. Okay, but there are two ways. This is good. Okay, you are good here. Any question on anything? So you are specifying x is equals to 1. Just remember, x is equals to 1 means we are referring to the columns.
Column.
Just remember this. Okay. Now let's try this. The same thing I want to x is equals to 0. Then what will happen? What do you think? Is there anything will happen? 0 means I'm saying the
Delete the
rows.
row.
Which row it will delete?
Samir.
Just row. Saying the
Oh,
name not found in Axis. Right?
so
So when
we
you
have
are
there
go with the,
zero index
yeah,
value.
now index value. That's the one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So whenever you are going with the rows x is equals to 0, you can 0. Okay. So
Mm.
I would suggest that when you are deleting the rows, go with the index approach. Okay. Index equals to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whichever row you want to delete it. And whenever you are going with the column deletion, go with the axis. Okay. So be specify the column name. Okay. Like something like I just give me a second. So you can specify like this, either name, column name, whichever you want to delete it, then put x is equals to 1 so that in the panda series it will refer to the columns and delete it. Okay. And if you want to delete any kind of rows, go with the index
Index.
equals to 0, 1. Okay. That's it. I think we are good on this. Okay.
Yeah.
And even suppose I want to give a filter condition here. Suppose I have a filter condition here. That filter condition is something like I said df. Let me go here and not here. I don't have proper data here for this. Let's switch on to the order data here in this case, and let me comment it out whatever I have done it here. Let's just give a second. So now suppose I say the filter condition equals to I'm saying df of salary. I have the column called salary is greater than, do I have data? I don't. Let's see that now. Print df.
Order data, we don't have salary.
We don't
Yeah, because it is order. Sales you have.
sales you have? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's create the sales. Let's see. So these are the data I have on the sales data. Okay. So these are the record 15 rows I got that are greater than equals to 16,000. Now what I need to do, whatever the filter data is comes up, that only I want to delete. Drop those rows I want to drop. Then how to, that's the main thing. Okay. You got the point? Like filter data I want to drop. So for that, I'll say df dot drop. Okay. Then I will say index. How you are doing index? How you are deleting the rows? We are deleting, as I told you that whenever you want to delete the rows, better to go with the index. Okay, approach is index rather than x is equals to 1. Okay, yes or no?
Yes.
So I will specify here index equals to. Then from where I will get the index? That index equals to 0, 1, whatever the index is coming.
You will get
From
it
where
from
I
the
will get
FC. You will
FC.
get it from the FC.
FC.
So FC dot what? I'm saying not like this. I'll say df dot fc. If I give just okay before to that, just give me a second. Okay. So if I print df.fc, I'm getting the data, whatever the filter data I have. Suppose I want to get what the index is holds by the
Dot
fc,
index.
then I have to dot index. Exactly.
Dot index.
This I explained. Yeah, exactly. This I want to specify so that I will get my the index which are available for this data. So these are the 15 index which I need to delete. Okay. So I want to specify here. So in the 13th line, I will say index equals to df under dffc dot index. This will be specified. Okay, then only it will consider all the index, whatever is coming, and it will record it. Making
Yeah.
sense? So this is the way. Just remember, whenever you have a filtered data and you want to delete those, then you say index equals to the data frame, that filter object. From there, extract the index, then delete it. This some records will be deleted, and you know what is that in place, whatever you can do, just do it. But this is the way you can delete your particular filter data. Okay, all right. Any questions up to here? Very good. Let me revise from the start itself. If you have any questions on any of the line, do let me know. So we are creating data frame out of the dictionary. Then we have used the ilock and the lock function. Okay. Then we created a data frame using the CSV as well. And we can have a head command, tail command to extract the any number of records to the top and bottom. Then we can directly access the column with like this. We have the column, or we can create a list of the columns where you want to extract from a particular data frame, that we can pass to the data frame as an object, and we can access the object from there. Then we understand the uniqueness of the column, and we understand the value count also to get the count, just like group by. It will be give you the category by city, how many rows are available for that particular column. Right? Then you understand the EGN operator also. Instead of writing the and or, sorry, EGN is replacement of the or. Whenever there's a or, then we can specify the phone EGN. Okay. Then you understand few things on the filters and how we can create the filter, and that we can pass on to the data frame so that the filter data will be get retrieved. Right. Then today you understand about your rename columns. Okay, we just rename the columns, particular column you want to rename. There are two ways. One is the column methods and one is the rename methods. Okay, and we understand how we can update the record directly through the location lock function. We can update, and we can specify the column which we want to update as. Okay, then you understand the apply. Apply is something like the method. Whenever you call any function inside the apply, that will go to each and every row of the data frame and apply that function itself. Right, and even apply map is something like it is applied to all the column in the data. Right. Second thing we understand is that how we can call different string function available in the data frame. So I can convert that into or I can call the string class, and from the string class I need to call all the functions. Okay, then we see the update methods, how we can update particular records on the data frame, and finally we see the drop method. Drop method is something like if you go the index method, then you can delete all the rows, and suppose you want to delete any particular column, specify the columns, and access equals to 1. All right, if that makes sense, everything, and here we go. And finally, I showed you, suppose you have a filter, and in the filter data that I want to drop it, then I can specify like. Make sense? We are overall about the pandas click, like what pandas can do in a different way. You understand everything? Any questions on any side? Because only few things is left. That is the dropping, like how to get the duplicate data, or how we can duplicate delete the duplicate records. They will explain in the next class, and few things. Then finally, I will give you a SQL method of the pandas in the next class. How can write in it? Okay. So up to now, any questions you guys have on the pandas? Because it is more like a SQL. We have done it everything. Okay. Rename everything. So any questions on any side till now? All good? Everybody is on the same page? Yes.
I'm good, sir.
Everybody
Yes.
is good?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So then today I will provide lots of assignments on the pandas. Do try it out, okay? Because we have almost covered 60 to 70% almost on the pandas. So now the time to implement. Okay? I will give some assignments so that you can start working on them. Okay, right? And that will be under your orders data. Order CSV. Just connect to the CSV, get the data frame there, and start working on whatever I have. Just like a SQL statement. So pure SQL I will give you, but in a pandas. Okay, and you can try it out on your own also. Take the CSV, what are the columns I have? Just try an experiment. Suppose I want to get, let's say somebody asks you that, give me the city XYZ, the sales for that. Do a field. Write out on your own. Just put your thoughts there and just do it. Okay, because you know how to write all these things now in time to. Okay, all right.
Yes.
Samir,
Okay.
I have a couple of doubts in the NumPy assignment. Can I ask now or?
Yeah, I think NumPy I will discuss tomorrow the assignment. If everybody tried it out at least. I just want to understand that.
Yeah, I have tried it.
Yes, Samir, we are doing.
Okay. Then I think tomorrow will everybody tried all the NumPy assignments, or anybody still to be tried out?
I have just three more questions to do. Just wanted to know whether I can give the array or should it be always random? So that was my
You
doubt.
can
I can.
anything. It's not matter. The ultimate goal
Okay.
is to get the out, nothing else.
Okay.
You can give your
Okay.
own error. Okay. What about others? Did you guys start? I'm done actually for today.